Hey guys, welcome back to LOI Fan TV, and we are back for our third episode of the League of Ireland Transfer Show. Look, first time out, we were like, you know what, we'll aim for 40 likes. We got 60, we had 67 when we recorded the last video. That's gone up into the 70s now, and we've
Yeah,
surpassed 100 likes on episode two.
yeah,
You are
unbelievable.
enjoying this, and we're enjoying making it. Let's set a bigger target. We're not going to get too optimistic,
Yeah,
but we'll set a target of 60 likes this week.
100%. But like,
Uh,
listen, if we can hit the 100 again, like it's
that's
so
it.
appreciated. Like it's unbelievable.
100%.
Yeah.
100%, excuse the fun. Excuse the fun. But Ross, we're back again for this. How's your week been? Have you been out with the talking to people, Googling? What's
Yeah,
your week look like?
been looking at bits and pieces, a few phone calls, a few phone calls here and there, and it's definitely stepped
On the
up a
phone
bit.
to Duffer.
But yeah. We meeting up with Paul McGrath and a few Rovers heads for breakfast there the other day.
Oh,
Uh,
saw that. Yeah, that's eventually in the future. In a future video we talk about, but
can't
yeah.
read into it. Don't read
Uh,
into it. Don't read into it. Like.
don't read into it, but
Yeah.
yeah, meeting up with one of the top dogs and Rovers for breakfast, and obviously his comments on Dan McDonald about managing the league again, and not necessarily having to be shells. Or I think we're a Stephen Bradley leaving Rovers away from Russell's world falling apart.
I don't even want to consider the possibility, to be honest with you. I'd probably hang up the microphone if that happened. Uh,
Hang up the microphone. We'll
uh,
get our Pats. We'll get our Pats listeners back if that happens.
that's it. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah. Before we jump into all these rumors, guys, we're on currently 3,785 subscribers. So if you can please now give us a massive dig out leading into Christmas. We want to try and hit 4K before the end of the year. It's a big ask, like about 200 more subscribers, but please share the video around, share it around if you're really enjoying the stuff. We appreciate it so much. We'd love to hit that little goal and go into the new year on a high. So please, massive Christmas present. Please drop a subscribe and a like on the video. It is much, much appreciated. But as we always say, it's the most interactive League of Ireland transfer show around, and we do go through your comments at the start of the video. So I think we're good to jump into that, Luke, are we?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's go
nice
straight
one.
in.
First comment is from Ads2, and he says, Jesus, could Luke be any more smug? Oh, wait, sorry, no, this is the wrong video. Sorry, this is on the latest one. This is on the latest one.
Hold on a second. I haven't seen this. What did he say?
He said, this is obviously in, I don't know if you've checked it out yet, but we did a reaction to our league table predictions from the start of the season, and ads commented on it. Jesus, could Luke be any more smug? Fair play, lads. As you said in the video, the league is a very difficult one to predict, which is why it's the best in the world.
They exceeded my expectation. Ads or X two, whatever. Yeah, they exceeded my. So we have to take the small wins in life,
That's it.
especially when they're over us.
Yeah.
Especially when they're over us.
We're going to be tracking our weekly predictions next season in a league format, so can't wait to smash you in that. But uh, we'll jump into these ones anyway from last week's show. So first comment is from Gary Delahunty 3591, and he says Moses Dyer being linked with Bose.
Moses Dart, the Bows. It's a tough one, is it? I don't know. I'm not too sure about that. I think Douglas James Taylor's there, Colin Whelan, and Patrick Hickey. I can't see it. Can you?
Well, you might be aware that I was obviously traveling earlier this year, and one of my pit stops was Cambodia. And I did have a bit of an interaction with Moses on socials, and we were trying to link up to do something. It didn't quite work out in the end. I think he was on pre-season in Singapore when I was in Cambodia. It just didn't link up in the end, but followed each other on Instagram, bits and pieces. We kind of had a few nice chats and stuff. Lovely guy. And let's just say I threw this rumor at him. I threw it at him. So we have the answer from the horse's mouth. Uh, and
This is news to
this is
me.
exclusive. Like I saved it for you. I saved it for you. Yeah, this is an
Nice,
exclusive for you.
nice.
So I messaged him and he kind of came back just asking, oh, who do Bows have up top? So I was thinking, oh, this could be going somewhere. But yeah, I think don't think that one is going to be on the cards.
What did he, what the here? What did he say? Did he say fuck that?
No. He said he's happy out where he is. He said he's living the life and he's delighted where he is in Cambodia. So that one seems like poured some cold water on that one, you know.
Fair enough, fair enough. You don't need my opinion on it, so you've
Yeah,
already chatted to
exactly. It did seem like a long shot to Bowes in particular with Dougie there, with the other options. Colin Whelan is still knocking around, I think, as well. So it felt
him.
like
Yeah.
they probably need to get one out before they brought another one in, or something with Hickey as well knocking around.
Yeah. No, I can't see it. You never know in the future. He might come back to the league. These things tend to happen. We'll
Yeah.
get into
He
a
loved his
few
time in Ireland, he said as well. He
returns.
did love his time in Ireland, so you never know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I think as far as this window goes, probably not.
No, no, it doesn't look like it. James Corrigan said that it's not big news because there's a Port Longford, but Aaron Doran re-signed for them, and he's a big player to keep for us. I think it's great to have First Division fans leaving the comments in there as well. I think we're more than happy to have a bit of a First Division chat at the start of the videos as well. Any big news coming through there, so make sure if you're a First Division fan to let us know in the comments any rumours or any deals you're happy about, and we'll have a chat about them as well. But Longford had a great end to
Yeah.
last season, so you could maybe see them going, hopefully going again next year, playoff capacity maybe.
Yeah. Obviously, the playoffs are fifth, so that's over half the league. There's no reason why if you sign a few players, you can't, get a bit of momentum to go. I think Longford have had a tough couple of years,
Yeah.
between the storm that destroyed the stadium and probably losing a lot of players elsewhere. So yeah, it'd be good to see them kind of get back in the mix. Because they're only in the Premier Division as recently as 2021, and people forget that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it'd
Yeah.
be good to see them go strong again.
100%, 100%. Sam Ferry 2281 said Walsh he's back. I assume that's in reference to Stephen Walsh at Galway. So
Yeah.
Galway setting to get motoring great. We'll obviously touch on them later in the video, but they're getting a good few re-signings and new signings in the door, which is great. And obviously John Caulfield signed a new deal, so he's been backed there. So looking a little bit more positive from a Galway standpoint, as we said. We'll touch on them again later in the video. Killian Corkery says that he's heard Barry Coffey is heavily linked with us. I think he's Sligo Rovers, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
And then he says, I've also heard Hekiki to Shamrock Rovers. Not sure how reliable.
I would love that to happen. I'm not too sure though. We'll get into it later in the video, but
Yeah.
we've just signed a player from Sligo Rovers, and we're taking a mick at a Sligo at the moment. Like every good Sligo player ends up with the Rovers jersey,
Yeah.
McGinty, and So I don't know. It'll cost money. Like we'll touch on Conan Noonan's transfer fee later in the video, but I imagine it would be at least double that, maybe. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll
Depends how
see.
long he has left in his deal. Probably has at least a year, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah,
Probably
yeah.
looking at six figures. He's an under 21 international. He's one of their better players, I think, at that side as well.
Mm,
Like he's a top talent. Finn Harps 111 says, great show, lads. Keep at it. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Dazer 273, did you mention Max Mata or did I miss that? No, we didn't last week. We actually filmed the show before that went through, so we'll touch on that. Obviously, that's a confirmed deal now, so we'll touch on that in a little while. Um, I think it's Ghost says that Bowes really need a right back. I see we were in for Ronan Boyce, but looks like he's off the Pats. Good shout there. A couple of names are floating around, Agbaje and Schoberg, but not sure who or what profile a player will go for. I think the two names you've mentioned are good options for that spot for Bowes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's actually two names up here kind of when we talk about Bose. Yeah, there's options there for them. I haven't heard anything concrete, but obviously there's
No.
lots of fan talk around those two names. And yeah, they'd be an improvement on John Mountney anyways, which is younger profile.
Definitely, definitely. David Sims says Enda Stevens, great signing, but it would be vital to keep Noonan. I was very surprised that Enda was not re-signed by Pompey as they're so short in the fullback area. So obviously the Noonan one is a done deal now. But Enda Stevens, great signing. Yeah, you kind of touched last week that you're happy enough with that.
Happy, good experience head going to dress room, especially with the European endeavours. So yeah, solid.
Unreal. John Harper says I'm a bit late to the party. 116th like, so look forward to next week. Thank you very much, John. Much appreciated.
Nice, nice.
Uh, Limo the man, we love this comment. Love this highlight of the week now. What a comment that is. That's unreal to hear, isn't it?
Oh, it's unreal. Like some of the comments as well, like across, like on TikTok, we were getting as well. Like lads, just yeah, buzzing. And to be honest, like you can probably speak to this as well. Like I really look forward to doing these videos as
Yeah.
well. And it's showing like, and the traction we're getting. It's just everyone wants to League of Ireland transfer shows are few and far between. And like, and obviously Irish footy vlogs do their thing. And Dan
Yeah.
McDonald kind of is kind of probably the only real consistent source. So it's nice to have another source as well of action.
100%. 100%. Absolutely. And for you guys to get involved in it as well is
Yeah,
fantastic.
100%.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
PJ Venom, obviously always a loyal commenter and subscriber. He says, great show, lads. Fair play and a nice idea involving the comment section. I'm like number 75, so cruise past that 40 goal. And I look forward to the next one. Thank you very much, PJ.
Deadly,
Gentlemen, gentlemen.
deadly. Fair play.
So yeah, there are all the comments we had in on YouTube. So make sure to keep going there. We'll be reading out them all next week once again if we hit our like goal, of course. But we'll jump into Bose, Luke. We touched on right backs there. Now we linked them with Ronan Boyce last week. That's not going to happen. But actual Schoberg looks like he's on the move from Pats as a result of that. Could you see him?
Mm.
Edwin Agbaje, obviously mentioned from Sligo. We'll touch on this a little bit further. Is if you were Bose, would you be prioritising one over the other?
Oh, 100, I'd 100% be going for Edwin Agbaji.
Yeah,
I think, yeah, I think that's the smart move. Like, it's kind of like a signing, young, you prosperous, a bit of a no-brainer for me. Like Schoberg, like Pats are kind of not happy to see him go, but they're like, oh, Boyce is an upgrade.
yeah.
So, if and Bo's finished ahead of Pats, so why would you, in theory, why would you want to sign that? So I think like Baji's a bit of a no-brainer. What do you think?
I think that's the priority. I think he's probably, I think Abgaje's been linked with a number of clubs across the league, so I think there'll be a race for his signature. Um, Even a potential team we'll touch on in a minute, but with Ron and Boyce leaving Derry, it could be one that they look at or something, you know. So, yeah, I think Axel's probably like the backup option nearly. He's not a bad player. He's not a bad player, but I think Edwin Agbaje probably is a level above and a potential to get kind of even better this season.
Yeah, if Bo's are looking to push on and be in a title race, I think Agbaji's the type of profile of player you'd need to sign.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Speaking of profile of players assigned to get in the title race, would you describe Jake Mulroney as one of them?
Maybe a blank checkbook, maybe, but I think this is like Jack Byrne part two in a
A
sense
little
of
bit, yeah.
this news kind of broke. What was it? Monday? I think Monday was when
Monday, I
it
think
broke
maybe,
about
yeah.
three clubs being interested. And then Dan McDonald kind of had his podcast on the Wednesday, and he said that he's kind of three clubs like him, but liking him and paying for him are two different things. So
Yeah,
it's a tough one. I think probably out of the three, I could see him least at Bose, to be honest.
yeah.
And I don't think Bose would fork up that sort of money for him either.
No, no. They have kind of got wide players, haven't they? They've got Rooney.
Dale Rooney and
Kearney probably
yeah.
could play their next season out on the right, maybe, or something. And maybe they have a space, but I just can't really see him at Bose for whatever reason. Like,
I just can't see him in a Bose jersey, yeah. We'll
no,
probably end up like
in our
laughing at
face.
this in a
Like,
few weeks' time.
yeah.
Yeah, but nah, I can't see it personally.
No, no. They haven't had any confirmed signings since we filmed, but anything rumor wise you've heard your end?
No, nothing wrong with Keane Burns signed a long-term deal, I'm pretty sure, with
Yeah,
Bose,
that's a couple of
which is a
pieces.
bit
Yeah,
of news. So obviously, on loan at Galway last season, went back in, was solid. So good piece of business. I think the Bose just need to prioritize young players, improve them. Yeah, rather than getting kind of these journeymen in. I think they're at the stage now. Yeah. So I'll have the rating new though. I don't know about you.
no, no, nothing else on that one.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll
fair,
get
fair,
busy
fair.
as the weeks go on. Derry City then next up. Ronan Boyce gone, as we touched on, a big kind of departure for them. I saw a
Yeah.
lot of fans are kind of disappointed to see him go. Obviously, kind of a youth academy graduate coming through the ranks and getting into the first team. It's what you kind of love to see as a fan, and then to see him heading away is kind of a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame. I saw he was like their longest serving player, and he was there
Yeah,
since 2019, which
yeah.
is mad. Like, so now
Mad.
their longest serving player is like 2022. I think it's like a three-horse race between like it's like Brian Maher and two other lads. I can't remember who. Lads that they signed obviously when the money came in.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, a bit of a shame. And like Derry get Europe. It doesn't really like from a Derry standpoint. This is why kind of some people are saying Derry for the title next season, and these are the sort of things that makes me worry about Derry. Like, why is your homegrown rifle who's playing every week after getting European football leaving the club to go
yeah.
to, we'll talk about it later in the video, go to Pats to have no Europe? Obviously, maybe money's a huge factor, but it doesn't really make sense, does it? Because Derry
No.
have money.
Yeah, no, it's a strange one, isn't it? It is a
It's a bit
strange.
worrying.
It is a worrying one. A signing that they
Yeah,
have confirmed is probably the worst kept secret last couple of weeks or months nearly was Rob Slevin, centre half
yeah,
from Galway. That was kind of touted from he'd signed a pre-contract deal or whatever, so I think it was announced
yeah.
December 1st or whatever. But I think that's a solid picked up centre half. Obviously with Sam Todd leaving and bits and pieces, a good one to
Hmm.
get in the door.
Yeah, a direct replacement for Sam Todd.
Yeah.
Solid, big profile. Yeah, he'll do a job. There's no two ways about it. But yeah, it's kind of like, one in, one out sort of thing, really positive with Slevin, but really not positive with Boys. So yeah, they're a bit neutral at the moment.
One rumor I've heard on Derry. Obviously we touched on Max Mata last week. He's gone elsewhere in the league. We'll touch on that
Yeah.
later. Jay McClelland from Pats to Derry is one I've heard. Kind of a versatile winger, can fill in a number of
Yeah.
fields.
Apparently they were talking to each other,
Yeah,
but nothing really came of it. So I don't know if that was a kind of a has-been kind of rumor. It was relevant a few weeks back, but now it isn't really. So I don't know. I can't really see it, to be honest with you. just with the McLean talk and all the crack, and I'm not. I'd like touching off the McLean talk. I think now it'll probably be the summer. He's nearly starting. He's nearly like playing most minutes
Yeah,
every week
he's got
now for
back in.
Wrexham
Like,
again. So,
yeah,
and with the
see
World
how
Cup in the
good
summer
exactly.
and stuff like potentially, yeah, I think he might see out the season. There's no real like Derry will still be there from in June.
Yeah, I think he'll
Um,
have an eye on that World Cup potentially for himself. Like he might think he might be able to get
why
back
not?
there. Like, yeah, back it.
His
Like,
last hurrah. Why not?
yeah, if he's
So
playing
yeah,
consistently in the
no.
championship, like he has a chance.
Yeah, why would you walk away from that and that possibility of that? It doesn't really make sense. I know he's a Derry lad and he will end up coming back to Derry, but
Yeah,
I think this might be. I don't think it'd be this window. So that's probably another piece of Derry news that I've heard, anyways.
yeah, yeah. Jay McClellan could be a good one to get in the meantime or something. You know, as like a bit of
Mm.
a player to cover you for the first few months and then stay on as like a backup, good, solid backup option. It might
Yeah,
be.
because I don't like no disrespect to Jay McClellan, but like I don't really see him as like someone's like kind of really like backup squad player for Pats, like not even like near the starting 11. I'm
Yeah,
surprised he got so much minutes. Fair play to him. He
yeah.
obviously works hard and he earned those opportunities, but like for Derry to sign him, like he's got a similar role, won't he? Like I said, it's a bit
Yeah.
uninspiring, I think, anyways.
Yeah, it is a little. It is a little bit. Yeah, yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
he's looking at European football and a better financial package or whatever. But who knows?
Mm.
Move on to Drogheda then, and they had a really, really bad news this week in that Owen Lamb has done his ACL, I believe, so he's going
Mm.
to be out for the foreseeable future, and probably looking at similar Mandrew timescale in terms of next summer, probably to make a return
Yeah.
or something. So really disappointed because he had a fantastic kind of breakout season last year for Drogheda, and arguably wasn't too far down the pecking order for a right back in team of the year talk and bits and pieces. So really, really good season. So I
Mm.
assume they'll be looking maybe in that market that other teams are looking at. There's a few right backs floating around as we touched on a lot in this video so far. They'll be maybe looking in that market or a Huey back on loan or something. You don't know like
Maybe he was a bit of a kind of in and out of Hui. I think maybe that ship has passed.
yeah.
But yeah, as we talked of last week, obviously James Brown was one I linked. And I think maybe that I was kind of went away after we talked about it. And I
Barnacles,
said,
yeah, yeah,
I was just like, you know what? Like, I was looking, he's paying good bit for Kilmarnock, but his contract's up in January. He might get extended. But I was like, like, you've owned Lamb there. It's not necessarily a priority to get him in. But
yeah,
now I'm looking, I'm going, geez, it could actually happen now.
yeah.
And I kind of have a bit of a rogue one to link as well. He's on the PFI transfer list at the moment, surprisingly so. Bray Wanderers right back Max Murphy.
Yeah.
Really kind of a really good attacker return. I think he even might have got near enough to double digit
And goals.
goal returns from
Yeah.
fullback.
I think
Like,
he got loads of goals and assists that season. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and from a personal perspective, from him, that should warrant a move up. And especially with this news now with Drogheda. And I think he's someone that when Lamb comes back, him and yeah, Murphy and Lamb could really rotate and make that position. And I think he's been versatile as well. He can also play left wing back and left back. So
yeah.
probably one I'm going to throw out into detail there that I think we to keep an eye on in the coming weeks.
He got 10 goals and 9 assists last season from right back.
Listen, he's surely. Why would you want to re-sign in
Outrageous.
the first division with those numbers? And I
Yeah,
think this is perfect. He'd go into draw that he'd start every week.
yeah,
He'd get the experience, and by the time Lamb's back, probably Lamb could be second fiddle because he probably would have developed again. So
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's a bit of that kind of gives me Kev Doherty. Like think of last winter he signed Thomas Alua, and he kind of like he likes that first division market. So yeah,
he
I think it's
does.
one that could
Yeah,
happen.
100%. I could see it. I could see it. Was he ex-Bows or ex-Rovers or maybe
He was
both?
at he was at Rovers, and then he was at Bows, and
Yeah,
then yeah, he
maybe
went to
flick
Bray.
from still young, only 24 now, like so good
Yeah,
age to be having a crack again at the Premier Division for sure.
for
Um,
sure.
Drogheda did sign Ethan O'Brien, kind of a versatile midfielder from Huntsville. I
Yeah,
believe they're an affiliate club of Nashville. Was
yeah.
Mark Dole at Nashville? I don't know if they might be aware of each other or whatever, but he's kind of a versatile midfielder, playing like the 6 or the 8. So obviously we
Mm.
don't know a huge amount about him, but obviously Owen Lamb was a good example of getting a good recruit from the US. So kept Doherty dipping his toes back in that market again, and could be a good option.
Yeah, Luke Dennison from the US as well. I know he came from Bowes,
Yeah,
but and the good US contingent there. Yeah, I watched a few clips from him. He looks like a tidy pair. Obviously, it's hard to tell someone's true ability
yeah,
from watching a semi-pro American highlights, but looks like a very good player. Looks like he can play in the 6 and the 8, kind of regarded as kind of like a ball playing 6 or ball playing 8. I think. I'm not sure if he'd necessarily be drawn. No, he might prove us all wrong and surprise us all, but I
yeah.
don't think. I think he's probably initially a squad player and he might play his way into things. But I think Drogheda still need a 6.
Yeah.
I think he can do the 6 and the 8, and with Luke Heaney going, we'll touch off that later again. I think he's probably a bit of a Luke Heaney replacement, and then yeah, but I think it's a solid sign. And Kev Doherty going left field again. You know, he pulled it out of the bag, and as I said, I think if there was a winner of this transfer window so far, I think it's probably Drogheda.
Well, yeah, not far off, definitely for sure. So there could be
Yeah,
still in the market for like a Mark Cole or one of them, or obviously looking at a
Gary O'Neill. Or,
Sean Boyd or whoever it might be. So yeah, Drogheda still have a lot of work to do. So be interesting to
yeah.
see how they go in the next couple of weeks. Next up, then we do have Dundalk. So they've got really busy in the last couple of weeks. Obviously, when we touched on a rumor was Keith Buckley, and that's been
Mm.
confirmed since. Good pickup for the Premier Division, obviously experienced player. So I feel like he's good in the kind of a inexperienced dressing room, more or less. It's a good sign to get in, and I'm impressed with them. They've brought in Ronan Tehan from Kerry, attacking midfielder, 21. I think he's Kerry's captain, definitely their standout player last season. So they're kind of mixing up, bringing in some young first division talent, and then bringing in a little bit of experience on top of that as well. I think that's probably the right approach for Dundalk.
Yeah, I think so. As I said, I know last week we were saying they only had like 5 signed players or something, but
Yeah,
I think they're just motoring along nicely. Like you kind of look at the other teams down there, and they have a quiet week, and then they have a busy week and a quiet week. Dundalk are just kind of chiseling along, one or two re-signings, a sign in a week, and yeah, they're Kieran Gough's doing a good job there, and yeah, I just have a good feeling about Dundalk despite the carnage.
yeah,
Um, and I just think if Kieran Gough keeps them up, he could get like be nominated for PFI Manager of the Year, you know. So yeah,
definitely.
solid sign from Kerry. It's just hard to tell, isn't it? Sometimes these lads come up from the first division, they're solid, or sometimes they just be flopping, they end up back on loan at that loan 6 months later or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, decent, and Keith Buckley, great experience.
yeah.
And I think we'll see James Talbot following next week potentially. So yeah, that'd be solid from a Dundalk perspective.
100%. Harry Groom re-signed. Touch on a couple of re-signs. That's a good one to get done.
Yeah,
Good midfielder. Sean Gannon has been linked with a move back.
I
So
saw that. That's a load of
that
that. Surely not.
that feels strange. I think he has
That,
another year at
that feels
Shell.
bizarre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's featured a lot for Shells this season, whether it be usually a centre half on the right of the tree, and as even coming off the bench, just having that experience. I feel like Shells will probably give him another year.
100%. I think he's one more year left to kind of like that European level of club,
Yeah,
and then maybe he'd go to a Dundalk if they stayed up. But I think it's just a year too soon. I think he's under contract as well, so yeah, I can't really see it.
yeah. Another one is Bobby Burns. I think was offered a deal by
Yeah,
Galway, multi-year deal that he's apparently turned down, and looks
yeah.
like Dundalk. I think did we touch on that before? I'm not sure we touched on that
No,
before.
we haven't. There's actually something that I read about during the week, and I go, I need to say that, and then we
Yeah,
just never have. It's been in the ether now for a couple of weeks.
yeah,
Obviously no developments kind of as far as him signing goes, but if they got him, that's the sort of player they need to poach there from their rivals, and yeah, as I said, like touch off like Mark Connolly and touch off Talbot, and potentially Connor Kearns, and yeah, Bobby Burns would be a great left back for them, and Leonard, and they got Connolly, and I can't remember who's their right full, but yeah, good business from them.
yeah, for sure. So Dundalk looking a lot more positive. Looking a lot more positive, and we kind of sensed that with Kilduff signed the deal that they would get busy and they'd back him a bit. Like I said, that was a part of the plan to keep him. I think he needed those assurances. Like,
Yeah, definitely. I think probably it probably worked to his benefit in the end. Because say when they had the fear of losing him, they just said, "Oh, look, here you go." So yeah, he's active.
yeah, another team that's got very active and one we were probably worried about and maybe still worried about, but they've kind of had a solid week. It looks like was Galway United. They've brought in Chris Twardek in from Valor FC, I believe it's Canada.
Mm, yeah,
Obviously well known in the League of Ireland realm. He's played at Bows a couple of times. Was he somewhere else as well? Maybe in the League of Ireland. I think
he's
he was.
Sligo. He was at
Sligo.
Sligo, I think, as
Yeah.
well.
So
Yeah,
kind of one of those that hit and miss at times, but he can be electric and then he can be off the ball completely. So I think in his first spell at Bows, I think he ended up getting a nice transfer fee from a Polish side from him. It could have been like 80K or something, and he had a really
yeah,
good spell. Came back and it didn't really work. He's kind of thrown in a full back in bits and pieces, but could be a decent pickup for Galway. Worth a punt probably.
100%. And this is what Galway's kind of business is built off, kind of like giving a lot of chance and seeing how he does. Yeah, I think that's a positive piece of business. I think he'd be in and out of the team throughout the season. So yeah, he'd be a solid addition. Yeah, kind of blows hot and cold, but when he's hot, he's good.
Yeah.
And like when he played for Bows, like back in 2020, when Bally finished second, like he was a mainstay in their team. He rightfully got a move to Poland, but yeah, that's solid addition by John Caulfield. Kind of cast his net wide again, as per a few of the other signings that he's made.
Yeah, for sure. We'll touch on Lee Devitt anyway. They signed him from Treaty,
Yeah,
one we touched on last week as a rumor. So that's come true in the last week. Kind of an attacking player, versatile enough, and I think he scored maybe 14 goals last season, off the top of my head.
Yeah.
He got into the first division team of the year. Yeah, good signing for them.
Solid, solid, really good first division player in the team of the year, as you said. And yeah, and that's exactly it. And like, yeah, this is a quality addition, and I think they'll probably build a team around him. He'll probably be sitting in the 10, and yeah, he'll be probably one of their main sources of goals and assists next season.
Kind of the Patrick Hickey replacement, nearly not like for like at all, but kind of similar position wise and probably hopefully goal
Yeah,
contribution wise and stuff.
they need that because obviously they lost Moses Dar and they lost Hickey. They're their two main goal threats, so they need somebody with a track record, and he does. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they brought in Matty Wolf, in obviously with Sligo last season, versatile midfielder as well. I won't lie and say I watched a huge amount of him last season, but by all accounts, a decent player. So another one to kind of fill out the squad a bit.
Yeah, solid. Kind of someone that was in, and obviously he before he signed for Sligo, he was at Barnsley before, and he had a
Yeah,
bad injury, was out for a number of nearly years. I think he was in
yeah,
2 years. He was
that was
out.
bad. Yeah, yeah,
So probably struggled a little bit, and obviously Sligo had struggled a little bit as well. Probably by the time they got their loanies in, he probably got cast away a little bit. So I think Galway probably need him, and it's a second chance for him to prove himself. And yeah, sounds like a good bit of business. Like he's not even that. What's he? He's like what, he's in his mid
three,
twenties, anyways.
three, four, maybe something like that. Yeah, so
Yeah,
good
not
enough.
even.
Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
That's
definitely
it. Solid.
EFL experience. Like usually they're good players coming from there. They just need to get going. Like so, could see him put in a really good run of games and get going this season. Like after I think he featured 22 times for Sligo last year. Like he was a decent player for them. Like so,
Mm,
could definitely see him
solid.
kicking on this year. Defo.
Defo.
Finally, them at Galway, they've signed Gianfranco Fascinieri, centre half from I think it was from Valor FC as well as Tuareg,
Mm.
the same team. He's a centre half, obviously with Slevin going with a couple other rumours and bits and bobs going around. Good for him to get a centre half in. Obviously, I doubt you've seen much of him, but listen, we'll see what happens.
Fun fact, I think he came from the same team as Moses Dyer came from. So,
Really? Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, you never know. Lightning might strike twice.
Yeah,
This
that's
fella
it.
could be something special.
Yeah, yeah. Centre half is always a funny one getting in from like you kind of want to have players that have Premier Division experience, League of Ireland experience in centre half. Typically, like you want to have lads that are in and around. Like I know Cork last season brought in a couple of loanies and like Freddie Anderson and stuff. It can take lads a while to get up to the
Mm.
physicality and bits and pieces. So it's gonna be a big challenge for him. But
Well,
it's,
as you're going to touch off last week, and something you were unsure of, like Killian Browder signing a new deal with Galway. It's
yeah,
really good
that's the
business.
one, isn't it? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So he's probably that bit of experience. And if your man Williams that they signed also last week, he was
yes,
at Dundalk. Not really much experience, but has experience. So I think it'd probably be the question of Browder centre up, but who's with him?
yeah,
So
definitely.
at least if that's stability there, which is
Yeah.
it's better from where they were at.
100% and a few others in the squad now as well. It's definitely moving in the right direction for Galway. We move on to your boys, Shamrock Rovers. Obviously the big news this week was young Conan Noonan departing the club on a 3-year deal
Yeah,
to Waterford, and that was kind of one that you felt like he was going to stick around next season. So are you kind of
I'd
sad
hope
to see him
so. Yeah,
go?
yeah, I am. I am. I'm not too. I'm not. I was saying to you, I'm not too sure how I was feeling about it. To be honest, when I saw it, first of all, I was like, he went to Waterford. What?
Yeah, I know.
You
I
know,
was stunned. I was stunned. Like, yeah, big time.
we were nearly writing them off last week, going that they could probably be probably the most favourite to get relegated. So to that alone, I was like, what? And then I saw record transfer fee, and I was like, seeing stars in my eyes, like, oh, this must be ridiculous money. And then I saw 50 grand, and I was like, it's a bit underwhelming. Like, yeah, I'm just hope this one doesn't come back to bite us.
Yeah.
And I thought the Fleetwood angle was the reason why he made the sign. But I saw you had tweeted Dan McDonald, and he said there was no relevant link. But surely that's in the
I,
thinking.
I think obviously no relevant link right now, but like they're making that signing with a view to flipping him in a year and a half, 2 years or something maybe. Like if he kicks
Yeah.
on, like
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's a bit of a crap of a Rovers perspective. But sure, look, Bradley always kind of has an ace up his sleeve, so we'll see kind of what that is. There's not really been much news from Rovers. Like I saw there, they announced Connor Malley as a permanent signing,
yes, yeah,
which is a good piece of business. Someone that he kind of can divide opinion amongst the Met fan base. Some
yeah.
fans
He
tend to
wasn't
think
getting
that.
in all the time, wasn't he? Not like he was kind of a bit part player last season at times, wasn't he?
So he signed for us and he was in the team, and then he had got injured against Ballacani in the second leg, and he was like starting nearly every. He started like 3 games in a row for us, got injured, and then he's still getting back up to speed. But he scored against Shakhtar, a really nice goal, think the keeper.
Yeah,
But he divides opinion because fans can kind of feel like they're sometimes a bit lackadaisical, and he kind of strolls about. But that's just him as a player. Like he's kind of this really kind of elegant, six
Yeah,
slash eight, and he's just he's a lovely footballer to watch, but sometimes that can come across as laziness. But I don't necessarily believe that's the case, and
yeah,
I think it's on a long-term deal, good piece of business, and I think it's kind of a bit of future proofing for when Matt Healy
yeah.
eventually departs the
I
club.
was saying, is he kind of a backup to Healy slash Watts? Like he can kind of do either or. Like,
He can do either or, which is good. Bradley likes to have players that versatility, especially in the system that we play. But yeah, Gary O'Neill was initially a backup for Healy, but I just think that Mahali is a much more like for like replacement for Healy than probably Gary O'Neill. Gary O'Neill is probably more of a gutsy kind of 2 feet in kind of number six.
yeah,
Whereas I feel like Mali and Healy are kind of like possession based sixes, which is
pick
probably
and
what we're
break.
aiming for.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. So that's have you heard anything from Rovers to your end?
Well, I was just gonna say, I think on Jack Byrne, that Noonan move probably puts Jack Byrne going elsewhere to bed. Like, I think he's staying with Rovers now. If you'd imagine, I think that will happen.
Defo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually now we probably need to add in that department because yeah, we burned Burke, Mandreu's out with his ACL. That's really it. Like in the
You
tens,
don't
like
want to
look,
rely on Byrne and Burke for fitness and stuff, don't you? Like, you want
no.
to have one more maybe to rotate with. Like,
Yeah, and that's kind of like I was kind of rattling my brain there during the week thinking about this and being like, who could it be? And I really think that Jad Hakiki could be somebody that, would really
yeah,
fit the mold for us. Like you kind of like you think about players that come into us at that age, like Andy Lyons, Mandreu from Bowes. Like he's have a really good profile. He just might cost some money, but we may, 50 grand for noon and we can throw that into the hat.
I think if
Maybe
you
add
gave
another
Sligo
50.
100, they'd definitely take it. You'd probably even get them for a little cheaper, maybe. You never know. Like,
Yeah, look, if you got him for 80, 90, 100 grand, like you're like realistically, if he comes in and does half a job, you can quadruple your money on him.
100%,
Um,
100%. Yeah.
so I think now that's about a self-generated. I've seen some fans highlight it and say, "Gee," like I remember when they played us in Tala, everyone, all the fans were going, "Jadaki, he's like the baller."
Yeah.
So yeah, he's probably one I'd like.
He's still
But I'm not too
sick.
sure. I heard Dan McDonald talking, saying the Rovers, I could see him adding a wing back and a striker. And I was like, a striker? I was like, we've got what?
Yeah.
I can't personally see a striker. I could see a creative 10. I think we need a bit like at least a life there, someone with a bit of pace, you know.
Let me throw Lisa Life at you then for the number 10 position potentially. Now maybe he's more of a winger, but Jake Mulroney is seems available.
Yeah,
I could see
yeah,
it,
well, look,
Luke. I could see him. I could
I
see him
know we've
there.
talked about this, and I think out of the three clubs he's been linked with, Rovers is the most likely. And he's really good mates with Dan Cleary,
Yeah.
and they manage like that old county team together.
Is
And
that
he,
an
and
amateur team, is
he's
it?
yeah, it's an amateur team, yeah, yeah, LSL team, I think.
Right.
So they manage that, but yeah, you could see it, but like for his age profile, he's nearly 30. As for a winger, like if you're a centre half, 100% bringing someone like that, but he's only got a less than pace. His work rate's questionable. Obviously, Brady's really good at getting the best out of players like this, but I don't want. Look, we've talked about this with Jack Byrne. Now you don't be adding Mulroney on top of that. Like I feel like you just kind of want a Hikiki, somebody you just say put in there and say right, we'll develop you. I don't really think there's much development to do with Mulroney. That's why I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't think he leaves Pats. I just don't think anyone forks up the money. Like
Yeah. That's a good point because he's on good money at Pats. The Pats
yeah,
aren't going to get a transfer fee for him, I don't think.
no.
So like, are they going to let him go for free? Is it going to be a loan situation? Like, will Pats have to pay a few bob towards his wages? I'd say he's on decent money. Like, he's probably in the
Is
hot
at least
top five
at
players.
least 2 grand a week. At least 2 grand a week. Yeah.
But like,
So
I
yeah,
think him at Rovers
it's
is
tough.
definitely a viable option. Like,
I think if he was a free agent and a club could punt on him in a year contract
yeah,
and say, look, we'll give him a chance. But because he's under contract, I just think he'll end up staying at Pats personally.
yeah, fair. Yeah, yeah, a little 1 year deal plus one if he goes well, like a little second deal,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Yeah, yeah, I think I could see him probably sticking put. Obviously, they're looking to shift them on, so be interesting to see how that one goes. In the next couple of weeks.
One more that I was thinking of as well, and it's probably because it was actually comments last week that we touched off. But I was just kind of thinking about Rovers and like what to do, and obviously like it's hard. There's probably only a number of players that can sign within the league, and we've Stevens and Matthews and players of experience. So I think now we're probably going to need someone between like the 20 to 23 profile. We talked about Hikiki, but I genuinely think that Sam Curtis could be a proper goer. For a number of reasons. First of all, like he's obviously under contract till 2027, so you'd probably think, oh, I'm not too sure about that. But he signed for Sheffield United on a free, and he's been kind of like nowhere near the first deal. I saw he scored for the development team there during the week, and he's kind of really rocking around at that level. He's 20 now, and I just think that like you could throw like a 40 or 50 grand bid in there and they'd probably just say, "Do you know, agree to walk away with it." And like I think that like if you think about like the players you saw like Matt Healy, Josh Honahan, uh, McGinty, they're kind of like, a mix of youth and low fees. And I think that like Hakiki and Sam Curtis are kind of that profile. They're both involved in the 21 squad, and I think the sell on value there would make sense too. So I feel like that's one that potentially could happen also.
Yeah, yeah, I could definitely see it. I'd probably be leaning towards more seeing it as a loan, just because I think
Yeah.
United would want to, especially with having like 2 years left in his deal, thinking, okay, if we get him out on loan for a year, does well, his value is back up at, he's at still only 2021 or whatever.
Mm,
Uh, his value is back up at, not saying 500,000, but in that region. Just from a business standpoint, would they shift him for 50K now?
mm.
2 years. I just don't think they'd shift him just yet. I think they
I
give him
wonder.
development, see how
It's
he
just the fact
goes.
that he was in League One. Like Peterborough fans were not impressed him at all. Then he went to St. Johnstone. He was in and out, like nothing to write home about. Wouldn't even be regarded for his success. A lot of it was sub appearances. And I'm just wondering,
Yeah,
even if he does well on loan at Rovers, like, will clubs in England look at that and go, nah, you know?
yeah, yeah. I
So
think I think if you were going to get him permanently now, I think you'd be looking at 150, 200,000 potentially.
really,
I think so. Yeah, yeah,
it's just the fact that they paid nothing for him as well that I'm thinking
yeah,
about. Like
yeah,
anything is seen as profit in their eyes,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I don't know. It's one to keep an eye
No,
on for sure.
that's
Anyways,
definitely interesting because he is
I've a
so
feeling
young.
about him coming back to the league. Anyways,
Yeah, so do I. So do I. Definitely, definitely. I think I'd probably lean towards a loan potentially, but definitely you never know. You never know. Rovers obviously have money to burn from all the Victor Osimhen money, the European money, the Noonan money.
Conan Noonan money.
Yeah, both Noonans. Probably a Michael Noonan money coming soon as well. So they're
Yeah,
not short of a few quid. So sometimes I think that could be like a good investment, Curtis, even if it is 150.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
you could
listen. What's a
flip them for
hundred? What's a
500 now
hundred?
or something.
150? Like if you paid for arguably say a combined 250 grand for Hakiki and Curtis, you're gonna at least sell one of them
Mm.
on.
That's a
Like,
great business. Like that's great business.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
had one other Rovers player come to mind there a second ago. I'm trying to think who it was, but it's absolutely left my head now. No, gone. I'll bring it back up if I remember who it was. I'll bring it back up. But I
You're
can't.
killing me. You're
I
killing me.
know. Oh, who was it again? I should have written it down.
Oh,
That's gonna absolutely do my head in. But we'll move on to Shelbourne. If someone comes back to me, I'll raise it again. But
okay.
Shelbourne, I'm very quiet. Listen, we touched on kind of the team still in Europe being quiet still. Obviously,
Mm,
Rovers have got a couple of bits done. Kind
mm,
of stuff that was kind of formalities that recently Stevens and Mali were kind of formalities probably from
yeah,
previous months or whatever. Um, Shells on the other hand, obviously we touched on Poor Gammon at length in previous videos. We'll see what happens there. Um, Sam Bone and John Sullivan are now on the PFAI transfer list, which is a small update there. And it's funny we kind of touched on Sam Bone. I know he's injured, so it actually doesn't matter anyway. But he put up the like going to the gym to prepare for Mateta, and he gets released the week before he actually gets to play Mateta. So it's kind of a sad one for him. But I think he was actually doing all right this season. Like he'd built up a bit of form, but obviously the injury is a killer, and I think they'll probably look to upgrade that position shelves this season. So I think he'll probably go back to maybe like a Maidstone in England where he came from or something like that potentially. Um, John O'Sullivan on the other hand, he could end up wherever in the Premier Division. He might. I think he's had injury issues and stuff, so you could see him maybe hanging up the boots a bit. Like
yeah. I could even see him in the first division. To be honest, like
yeah.
I'm not too sure of his pedigree in the Premier Division.
Yeah, I think he has a business on the go as well, like a water business, I think off the top of my head. So I think he's probably
Mm,
maybe looking at maybe stuff after football a bit as well. He's had an eye
yeah,
on that
fair.
already. So just the injuries are a killer for him. But obviously won the league last season, good servant. So goes with best wishes, both of them. But yeah, I suppose we'll raise Mulroney again for Shells because it's been one that all the Dublin clubs have been linked with. Could you see him at Shells?
Well, like I was saying to you, like it probably that doesn't make sense, but you're looking at Jack Byrne, he was probably going to play in that. Like your five at the back is kind of like with two tens, and I could see Mulroney one of those roles because the rest of be realistic. He's not going to play wing back, is he? Like,
I saw someone saying, I
so
hope Shells don't see him as the answer for wing back. Like
oh
someone else is
jeez,
thinking like that's the option.
terrible.
Yeah.
No, he would no chance. Surely not. But yeah, I don't see him going to Shells. But if he did, I could see why he would go. I could see why they'd want him. But then again, I don't really see why they'd want him. I'd rather they went back in for a Will Jarvis or someone like that instead of
Yeah,
Mulroney. I just
definitely.
think he's going to stay at Pats. He's not
Yeah.
leaving.
Do you know what, I could nearly see Duff fancying himself to get the best from Mulroney, but I don't know if O'Brien would. But I think Duff would see that as like, the perfect player for him to take, like a good player, but like down
Yeah.
on his luck and has a point to prove. I think Duff would see that as like a good challenge for himself to take on. But I think O'Brien might think differently a little bit.
I think O'Brien's more of a project manager. I think he likes to take in a young player and develop them, bring them to the next level. Hence, a lot of Henry Francis was obviously a Dover signing, but like they're the lads like Sean Moore and and Bang and like these are sort of lads that are about to push on. So yeah, I can't see it.
Yeah, yeah. Anything else on Shells you've heard at all or nothing much?
Yeah.
Go
So
on.
now, obviously, Paul Jammond was one that was linked. Nothing's really happened on that front. Maybe it might change in this video coming out next week. You never
You
know.
never
But
know. Yeah,
another one I heard, which is an interesting one,
yeah.
Shawnee Maguire.
Yeah, sorry, I
Shawnee
remember you
Maguire.
texting me about this actually. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It was a
He
relative source as well. The Irish Independent put it out,
was it on that? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It was on the Irish Independent, on their newsletter, I believe. Apparently, like they're looking at the kind of Brighton Hearts recruitment agency model now, like kind of like Moneyball sort of statistics and all that sort of good stuff.
Yeah, Shells
But
have that like recruitment system in place. They have those people like hired to like look for these like talents. Like they have
yeah,
systems in place. Like so it'd
the
be
one
interesting. A couple of rogue signings.
I have reservations about this at our level. Now, I think if we broke through as a league and got into like the top 20s in Europe and we start having players on like, 4 and 5 grand a week, I think then it starts to work. But I struggle to see it being a success overall when you're like bringing lads in on a grand a week. It's
Yeah,
just like it's hard to, yourself. Clubs have tried it in the past, and
yeah.
like yeah, coops are few and far between, aren't they?
The only reassuring thing is that Shells have like a squad of like 16 or 17 there.
Yeah,
So you're not like building your whole team with like these
no,
random signings. You might be bringing in one or two per year, and if one hits and it's great, like you're not probably you're not putting it all on red, like you're not going all in on this. But if you can get three, four young lads in or something, to not even an eye, maybe an eye in the first team in the next couple of months or something, and I think it's exciting. I think it's exciting, and it could be a good step for the League of Ireland to take. I know I get what you're saying
mm.
completely in terms of we've seen kind of even Dundalk bringing in lads from Latvia and all sorts of places, and these internationals and bits and pieces. But it could be a good one. Like it depends on what the date is like and bits and pieces, but it's worked at other levels, so it just depends on whether it can work here. But I think if you have like a decent core group and you're just adding a couple of bits, like a little squad player and young lads in and stuff, it could become really, really successful and you could flip players for profits and stuff like.
I think it's something that could work in harmony with the bigger picture, but I don't think it's something that is the bigger picture. I feel like if you're signing 3 or 4 lads from the League of Ireland, you can take a money ball punt on, 2 or 3 younger fellas. I
Yeah.
don't like from what I was reading about it, it's like, yeah, they're looking at Hammond and they're looking at Maguire. They might get one of those two, but outside of that, then they're going to venture elsewhere. And I'm just not too sure. It's obviously, it could work, but evidence of the past has suggested it
Yeah.
doesn't tend to work.
No, a perfect window for me is like I'd probably rather Maguire over Almond just in terms of age profile. I'd rather that.
Yeah.
You're probably getting a few more years out of Maguire. And I think he actually looked better towards the end of last season. He looked a lot sharper. He looked like he was getting up to speed a bit. So I think he'd be a really good pickup. So I'd probably go Maguire. You're looking at centre half. I'd like someone with a bit of experience or even UK based. Like someone.
I was more thinking about Connor Masters and the more I was like I could see him Michelle's because
Yeah.
he was in the Gillingham team. He had a bad injury. I don't know he's played in like 3 months or something, but his contract's up at the end of the season. He's kind of like turning 28. Like that's a great signing if they can do. I think someone like that would make sense.
It's funny because I played against Conor Marston when he was at Lucan for in underage football, and you're like, he's turning 28. I was like, Jesus, how old am I getting? Like, fuck's sake, like that is scary. Jesus Christ, yeah. But I think that something like that would be a good one. Kind of someone locally enough. Like you're not taking a massive punt on someone to play centre half, and then obviously the
Yeah.
goalkeeper situation needs to be sorted whether it's just give it to Kearns and let him take the reins, or you go get Wesho Spiel, one of those two. So keeper, centre half, striker, and then I don't mind after that
A wing back.
experimenting a little bit. A wing back, yeah, with Norris gone, actually, you're probably you'd like to get a wing back in as well. But wing back's an area where you don't mind taking a little punt on somebody, I wouldn't think. As
No, you
much.
don't mind. You can. That's if you take a punt on Moraine.
If Mulroney signed, you know what I'm going to be like. I'm going to say this fella's. on his day is, like
Oh, but listen, same
unbelievable
for me.
talent.
If he's one
Yeah,
of these lads, you just hang your hat on him until he completely wrongs you, and then you
yeah,
write him
exactly.
off.
Like it'd be brilliant. It would be a great story if he did come
Hmm.
and was unreal for one of us. Like, and like
Yeah.
Pats fans would be going mental. Like, it'd be brilliant. Like,
It would be gas. It would be, yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. A wing back, it's a tough one for Shells. I don't know. Yeah, you could actually take a punt on a wing back. You're right. Like James Norris in theory was a punt,
yeah,
and it worked. And with Spale in theory was a punt as well.
yeah,
So they've had success in the punting market, but I don't know. This is obviously a new thing coming into Shells. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, interesting nonetheless.
yeah. No, 100%, 100%. Yeah, and I think obviously Mben coming in is the kind of right wing back cover next year. So yeah, if you take a punt on the left side, so yeah, it'd be interesting to see how things transpire for Shells. I don't envisage them doing anything massive until the European run is over. Obviously, Palace and Celje to come still. So maybe coming towards the end of the year, the new year, probably you'll see Shells maybe start to get things done when O'Brien can properly sit down and start discussing next season. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Shells. Sligo, on the other hand, then we'll move on to them. We touched on Edwin Agbaje a good bit this season, obviously, or this video even. He's gone. We touched on Janet Asua last week coming in. Don't think they've brought anybody in since then. I don't think, and since the last
No,
video, I don't think.
no, they haven't.
They brought in four players we touched on, like Mikason, Alex Nolan, Carl McHugh, and Agbaje and Asua. So they're not looking in terrible nick or anything like so.
No, they're not looking terrible, Nick. I'm just wondering what's going to happen to Owen Elding. Obviously
Yeah,
Storm Gratz are linked to them, and he's in theory is still a slight. And I saw you saying, "Oh, I'm going to report back to preseason training. We'll see what happens." So I'm wondering, like, is there a world in which they sell him but they keep him?
on loan
You
or
know?
something.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I'm wondering what the
Because it's
story is
probably
there. Because
tricky for him if he is going to somewhere like that's playing the kind of not our summer season, the winter season, whatever. Like they might look at it and be like, listen, we'll sign him now, but we'll get him for pre-season in the summer, like so we'll loan him back. It's probably the best case scenario for everyone, like and that could be an option, I would say.
it could be a negotiation as well if there's money involved, and they're like, right, okay, you can't meet our demands, but if you give them us for 6 months, you'll meet our demands.
Yeah,
So I could well see that. Sligo and solid, Nick. Like, so I was even thinking about like potentially Kiki departing. Like, almost like they have Megason in the 10, and they potentially could have Elding and they've Fitzgerald, and
yeah,
they're looking all right. Like,
yeah,
they're looking solid. So yeah, obviously Sligo have been busy in the last couple of weeks. They'll probably have a little bit of a relaxation period almost.
yeah,
But yeah, I remember I was reading a John Russell interview, and he was saying that like he was kind of braced for bids for Will Fitzgerald and Jada Kiki. So I think they're probably the two that were probably Will Fitzgerald for Shells. Another one. Obviously,
yeah.
we're talking about the Shells here. Could
I
be
could see
one that
him
could
doing
come
a
in.
wing back role potentially, actually.
Yeah, yeah, I could see
See him
him doing
doing
a
that.
wing back role as well. Been solid. You have a lot of life on that left hand side. So yeah, I think him and Kiki and Elding are obviously could be huge. If they could potentially lose all three of them, if we're being
Yeah,
brutally honest, because
yeah,
their model works, but they lose players and that's just how it goes. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where kind of Sligo go from here because obviously they've signed a lot of Premier Division experience, but I don't know if where are they waiting for January? Or are they waiting for the English market? Like what are they doing? So.
yeah, yeah. Just this is only throwing it out there because you said it. Like, could Will Fitzgerald go to Shells and Ryan O'Kane go back the other way as part of the deal or something? Like
That that's a
that could
that's
be.
a great show.
I was just spitballing here, like.
That is a great shout.
Yeah,
That's a 100%. Yeah, because Ronald Kane really enjoyed Sligo,
yeah,
and it's really
yeah,
suited him. And I think it's somewhere he could
100%.
go back. And like if he goes back there and has a good, 6, 12, 18 months, he could eventually get a move over to the UK.
Yeah, absolutely,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah,
so 100% that makes perfect sense. Well done, yeah.
yeah,
Nice
yeah,
money ball,
yeah. That's
Maguire.
it. Yeah. One on Sligo. I think we touched on it. Uh, maybe in our predictions reaction video when I was watching it back, whatever was. This isn't a rumor at all by any stretch, and probably will stay at Bowes. But Colin Whelan at Sligo would be brilliant, wouldn't it, for them and for him? I
Yeah,
think.
they need a striker, don't they?
Yeah, and he wants. I think he needs to be the number one, like the starting striker somewhere as well. Like,
He does, he does. He needs to be the main man. And like the strikers are few and far between,
mm,
especially in this league, and ones that are attainable. I think he's attainable. I think
yeah,
if they went about and even loan, they could potentially loan him,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know. I could well see that 100%. That'd be solid. Yeah, yeah, defo. Colin Whelan, I'd like to see that to be honest. I think Jerome Russell could make a monster out of him.
yeah. Definitely, definitely, 100%. He has ability for sure.
Yeah.
We move on then to St. Pat's, and but before we get into the transfers, did you see their New Jersey?
What
Oh,
was going on with? Where's the sponsor gone?
It's a horror show. I thought I was not a fan at all. Like
Yeah, I wasn't. It was very basic and kind of like it was just a square. I think they're
the color
pulling
of
off
it.
some retro one from the
Yeah,
90s, but a bit
all the fans
uninspiring.
like disappointed as well. Like it looks, yeah.
Just miserable time to be a Pats fan, isn't it? Like,
Well, they've probably cheered their fans up somewhat this week with a couple of
yeah,
signings. Obviously, first up,
yeah,
we just about missed him on our last video, was Max Mata got over the line
yeah,
to come in, and obviously with Mason Melia going, they needed a
solid.
striker. Connor Carty's still there, Aidan Keane is still there, but you imagine Max Mata's probably going to be the number one main man there.
Yeah, Max Mata probably him and Aidan Keane probably yeah they're actually both together at Sligo. People
Of
forget about
course,
this.
actually, yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
when they were in Europe, the pair of them were up top together. So maybe
Yeah,
Stephen Kenny could go 4-4-2.
yeah,
Because obviously we were saying that Keane likes to drop in. Sometimes he could be, kind of doing his own thing. And Mata's just he's a bit of a poacher, isn't he?
yeah, he is. Yeah, I saw Kenny kind of said to Max Mata, was like, you're coming here to give yourself a crack at getting into the World Cup squad for New Zealand. So interesting, like.
Yeah, interesting. And then Max Mata said back to him, "Don't talk to me about international football." Oh,
Yeah, very
stop.
fucking fair, Max.
Mad stat that his Stephen Kenny's last game in charge of Ireland was against New Zealand, where Max Mata actually
I
played.
saw that stat actually. Yeah,
So
yeah, I
that's
saw that. Was
another
that a
one.
draw? I think it was a draw, was it? I think
Was it?
that was a
Jesus, it
draw,
was.
as
Yeah,
far as I know. Because
yeah.
Moses Dyer is New Zealand, I think, isn't he?
He's New Zealand as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're probably
Actually,
competing
here's a
for.
question for you: Who do you think's the better striker of those two?
Oof. We probably have a bigger sample size on Max Manadui from his League of Ireland time, but Moses Dyer was
Mm,
electric for those 6 months. Like
mm.
he was nearly third or fourth in the top scorer charts. He left halfway through the season, didn't he? I think.
Yeah, yeah. He's only double digits by the time he
Yeah,
departed, and
I
he
think
departed
he's
in like
10. I
June
think
or
he had
something.
10 when he left. Yeah, 10 goals.
Yeah. I think they're different players. I think Max Mata's more kind of like rigid and kind of need play off him. Whereas I think Dyer's in behind and he'll just strike a ball and put it in the top corner.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. They're both different players, but yeah, no. This is a huge signing for Pats Max Mata. I can't believe. I thought he was going to Derry somewhere Europe. But look, they probably obviously threw the bag at him and he took it. But I think this marks the end for Connor Carty at Pats personally.
Probably.
Um, and
Probably.
I think it's probably just a chain of events will happen now. I think Connor Carty could go to Bows, and then I think Whelan could go somewhere, and I think this is probably what's going to happen now.
Yeah, that's a good
Um,
shout. That's a good shout, actually. It could be a little domino effect in place next 2 weeks. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, no, I can see that, and then obviously, your boys coming in at right back, which is a shrewd one.
Yeah.
Solid business. So that was a bit of a Stephen Kenny signing. I could see him being a mainstay for them right back. I think they need that because they were complaining about right full since Kenny took over. They had Luke Turner there, and they had Schoberg there, and they just have never replaced Sam Curtis, have they?
No, and obviously we kind of touched on Sam Curtis or James Brown last week. That those are probably dead in the
Yeah,
water now in terms of their
yeah.
own boys coming in. Yeah, they never really replaced Sam Curtis at right full. I think Shelbourne. I don't know if Shelbourne was like originally centre half, kind of scooched over to right full or something. But
Oh, I'm not too
um,
sure. Yeah.
yeah, they needed to kind of fix that area. And I think left back is on. We touched on Val Adidokun as well from Brentford
Mm,
in
mm.
recent weeks. So I think they're probably looking at that to get both full back positions sorted. You'd imagine.
He's solid. I think he'd be really shrewd signing. If he went, he's actually what I'd love to see at Rovers. But yeah, if he went to Pats, really shrewd business. And yeah, I suppose then it's just the case of who else do they keep? Obviously, Mulroney's been linked with an exit. I can't see that happen to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he'd be a Pats player next season. But yeah, obviously we thought the Conan Noonan. We were saying if he's go anywhere, you go to Pats. That
I
hasn't
thought that
happened
was
either.
nailed. Yeah, I thought that was. I thought Kenny would be getting his ear and get that over the line. Like,
Yeah, yeah. So I wonder what's the crack is with Pats. They're a bit unpredictable. Pats. Like last week, we would not have guessed that Ronan Boyce and Max Mata would both be Pats players, but
no,
this time next week. But
no, not at all.
they're a bit of a dark horse, aren't they?
Yeah, they can pull anything out.
Yeah,
Don't feel like they're massive needle mover signings, but they're just solid ones that they probably needed to get in. Like,
yeah. They're solid ones that probably we would thought that either. I was saying Ronan, but I probably thought if he's going where he go to Bowes with Europe, and then I probably thought Max Mata probably go to Derry with Europe, but
yeah,
they've gone to go to Pats, so solid business.
yeah, for sure, 100%. Um, touched on Conan Noon in a good bit this video. We'll move on to Waterford, and obviously that's the
Mm.
main kind of talking point. This week, really, in the whole video, I'd say that's probably the biggest move so far in the window, you'd imagine. Top of the head anyway, but massive signing for Waterford, 50 grand, 3-year deal. Obviously, was great on loan last season, had a really good season with Waterford. Bit of a somewhat of a coup for them.
Can't believe it to be honest. And now I'm wondering, are they going to make a play for Paul Jamin to stay with that? It's like, we've known him playing with you. Like even some of their other signings like Luke Heaney and Benny Kudo coming in have
Definitely
like touch
helps.
off them. Like they're kind of building a bit of a team now, and like yeah, last week it was just a bit stale, wasn't it? And we were going, Jesus, like what's going on?
Yeah.
But like bulking the horse, as their owner said, and throwing 50 grand on the Conor Nooney, fair play to them.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you get Noonan and then you maybe keep Podge, I think you can attract players then. And
100%.
then I also heard as well that like that we were talking about, Leahy and Horton and
Podjewski.
what's Casper? Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hit Rakowski leaving as well. And like we were like, geez, what are they doing? But apparently they let a good few of those boys go.
Yeah, I think they
So
did. Yeah, yeah. I think
makes me wonder what's coming.
yeah, good point. And the business so far, obviously, you touch on Benny Couto, left full from Cork, who impressed last season. They get an injury towards the back end, but did definitely impress last year. Luke Heaney, versatile midfielder, can play it in full back at times as well. So that's a good signing. And we've criticised Waterford in previous years for going for that unknown EFL market, loanies, but they're getting proven LOI players in at the minute, or at least somewhat experienced LOI players in at the minute. So good step in the right direction, I would say, for them.
Yeah, solid. Three solid signings. Three players that are young and have experience in the league. So yeah, long may it continue. And yeah, it's getting interesting then. Like we were obviously saying 2 weeks ago, we were worried about Galway.
Yeah.
Last week we were worried about Waterford.
And now
If I was
it's
last year
anyone's
right
game,
right
yeah.
now, like who do you think? I think it hangs in the balance at the moment.
For a tenth.
Yeah,
If I had to put my money on it, I'd go Dundalk probably.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just wondering if this club stuff will come back to bite them. So we'll see. Time
Yeah,
will only tell. But yeah, Waterford are off to the races. Like I just can't believe Conan Newman's such a great sign. It's just such
unreal,
a great sign, isn't it?
unreal,
Like
unreal bit of business. Like it's quality, it's quality. Like that's someone that probably every team in the league would have taken him. Like you know, it's a huge bit of business, and you'd imagine there's some sort of Fleetwood angle from there in terms of the attraction to it, because like it just doesn't make sense otherwise to me in terms of like there probably was European teams looking at him and Rovers probably said like, listen, you can fight for your place, and Pats would say would have taken him and stuff. So there must be something there. Just saying to him like, listen, in a year's time, there's something potentially a move there for you to head over easy enough to the
early.
EFL. So like, there must have been that conversation, I'd say.
Question for you as well. So obviously we're talking about Paul Jam and potentially leaving the club, and we're talking about transfer fees and stuff.
Mm.
One, do you think that'll happen now? And two, what do you think Waterford will value him at if they paid 50 grand for Conan Noonan?
Good question. Good question. So do I think Podge I think he's going to stay. I think he's going to stay. But valuation wise, I think that's why the Maguire stuff starting to rear its head a little bit because Shells are maybe looking at other options. Um, I think if they're selling him for 50, they're probably valuing Pod. It's a very good question, actually.
Surely, or I think around that because obviously
Yeah.
Podge has the stats, but he doesn't have the age.
No, no, you're probably only looking at one really good year left from, you'd imagine. 38, like,
Yeah,
could be 38, 39, whatever it is. Like, he's 37
could be
now, is it?
38. 37. He's going to be 38. I think by the time next season gets going, he'd be heading up to it. Yeah,
I think if he stays at Waterford, I think the goals, I think he'll probably still hit maybe 10, 9, 10, but I think you'll probably see somewhat of a dip, I'd imagine, and maybe
yeah,
Tommy Lonergan playing a bit more minutes and stuff.
yeah, yeah. Surely, yeah. And I'm much more or less optimistic about that deal happening now, just because of the Noonan. I just think the Noonan thing is just like whoa.
Yeah,
It's just like it almost gives Waterford a new lease of
statement.
life. And yeah, it makes you wonder if they might go on and do further fitness business, and yeah, we'll see. But I don't see. I don't know about Shawnee Maguire going to Shells because obviously he built a house in Cork and he's a Cork. Like I'm pretty sure like his family's from Cork and like stuff like that. Like and I know he's not from Cork, but I think his partner's family are all Cork and he's based down there and he has roots and he's the captain and stuff. I just don't know. But then again,
He's
I
too
could
good
maybe
for the
I'd see a
first division.
loan deal.
He's too
I could
good
see
for
a loan deal maybe or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah. I think there's an attraction to go even like he could go live in Dublin and go back down to Cork once or twice a week, whatever it is. And
Mm,
it's not like he can go back to Cork then for the rest of his life. Like he's only got one football career, and I don't think he
yeah.
wants another stint in the first division. Surely, like he's done that for a bit, got them back up.
Yeah.
go back down
That's it.
again. It's like he's too good.
Nah.
Like you need to,
He is too good. You look at Rory Gaffney at Rovers, living in Galway while playing for Rovers. It's doable,
yeah,
and he
it's
like
something
he
where,
he'd be the sort of player you'd bring in. You say, look, Shawnee, look, we're training 4 days a week. Do two of them with us, and then do your own thing for the other two. Because he's at
yeah,
that age. He's what 31. He can manage his own fitness.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
think if they presented a package which made sense, there's no reason why he can't play for Shells for 2 or 3 years.
100%. 100%. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be really happy to see that one get over the line.
Yeah,
Because I think yeah, him, Meepo, and Martin looks a lot more solid whether you get rid of Boyd or whatever it is. But I think
a lot
even
more balanced as
yeah, a
well.
bit more balanced. And I think Maguire will be
Yeah.
your starting striker there, but you have options then as well. Like
Yeah. No, no. I think that's probably the play, and I think that's something we'll probably hear further developments on. But any kind of other League of Ireland rumors your end, Ross?
don't think so. I think that's more or less everything we've covered most bits, I think. But I'm looking forward to seeing the comments because I feel like we missed out on a
Yeah.
couple of rumors here and there. Like
Yeah. Joe, it got me thinking. I was laughing about this. I was thinking, like, like we've had some mad transfers in the league throughout the years, like Andre Wisdom going to Derry, or
yeah,
you know, this is like Adam Matthews going to Rovers, Lees Mousset going to Bows, and I was
yeah,
just like I was asking people listening to this video, put a comment in on just something you think sounds mad but could happen. Like,
yeah.
I'll give you one that I thought of, and I was laughing at myself. Like Connor Wickham to Derry. Isn't that just like the
That's
most
magic, magic.
random thing you'd ever think, but
Yeah.
like something that could happen,
Bit of a
you know?
journeyman type, or whatever. Where is he now? League Two or something, probably, or something. Is that like
Yeah,
brilliant, though?
so
Like, yeah. Let
yeah,
us
I
know
think
your
it's great to
comments
have
down
those.
below, like your mad transfer shout, like Elise Musea, Connor Wickham, Andre Wisdom, someone that's like a bit forgotten but a known name. Like,
Yeah, so one of the lads said to me, Josie Altidore to Galway, and I was in stitches. Like, I was just like, that's proper. Like,
oh, that's magic. That is magic. Oh, I'm looking
yeah.
forward
So
to
let
seeing some
let
of those types thrown in
yeah.
there. Like,
Yeah, throw in some mad ones. Have a look at the free agent market and have a look who's, kind of been around. A few Barclays, man. Yeah,
yeah,
just throw them in for the laugh, and we'll, we'll,
Morton
we'll
Gam's
talk about them on
Pedersen
next
to
week's video.
Sligo or something like.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, look, guys, there we have it. There's our episode 3, League of Ireland transfer show. As I said, 60 likes. We're going to try to hit 100 again, but we'll set an initial 60 target to go again next week. And yeah, subscribe if you're new. Please do. We're two. What are we, Ross? 220 away from
Two,
4.
yeah, give or take. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so look, we're in December now. We probably need to get a move on with that sort of stuff. So please, it gets us up the algorithm. It helps us. It really helps us. So yeah, do that. And yeah, Ross, pleasure as always.
Nice one, Luke. Thanks a million for tuning in, guys. See you next week, hopefully.